90.5 is WUOG Athens. You're currently listening to D90.5. This is I think the eighth episode of the show. We're kind of behind on our airing schedule as opposed to our recording schedule, but it's all good. I'm your DM, Chase, and going in alphabetical order of last name, with exception for first name if you have the same last name, we have...
Alphabetical order of last name would work. Anyway. Yes. Okay. Go ahead. Wait, should we say full name? I'm not gonna dox you.
You don't have to say your name at all. It's just the order we're going in. I don't want to dox anyone.
Wait, so I don't know anybody's last names, honestly.
Oh wait, oh my god. I was thinking reverse. I go first.
What?
Yes, you do. You do, Will.
Oh my god. Sorry, I don't know why I thought we were going reverse order. I'm Will. I play Court, who is a human wizard in the form of an alchemist, in the form of a chem student who mixes his silly little chemicals from the lab.
Nice.
God, it's embarrassing. I don't know my letter order.
That's just the way.
Again, I'm a course of STEM major.
Mm-hmm. You don't know how to spell STEM, but you are.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. I'm Anne. Wait, Anne. Does Chase not go?
I already went.
Oh, Chase already went.
We've gone before. Oh my god! I didn't know Will's last name. Continue. I'm sorry.
And you were wrong in what you said too, which was fun.
Wait, what?
I would have gone first, and I did go first.
I was confused. I thought that was just part of you, like, introducing the recording. I hate myself.
God,
it's okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
This is all staying
We can,
in.
like, cut it and start over.
No, this is all staying in. This is great.
This is gold, baby.
I've been distracted. Okay.
Bro, I'm in the group me with you. You see my last name.
That's a great point.
I'm not checking the group me. I'm trying to do something that I said I would do last week.
You don't have to check the group me. Will already went.
Okay, anyway. I'm Anne. I play Gwen Bennett, a multi-class ranger townie.
Oh,
Tony's in some class.
The class benefits of townie are yet to be determined.
You're a class traitor.
Oh, I was going to say probably just an incredibly high alcohol tolerance.
Yeah,
I was
that's
going to
it.
say, like, discounts at the grid or something.
Yeah.
Well, you all
that's
know
true.
Michael Stipe.
That's true, but Gwen didn't know Michael Stipe before this.
Yeah. Also,
Mhm.
Court thought that Michael Stipe was the mayor, so
Oh my god. That's
I
nice.
saw a bald white man and thought,
That man could run Athens.
I
that was
mean,
Kelly Gertz.
yeah, isn't Kelly Gertz also bald?
Yes.
He is, that's the joke.
Oh, I see.
I have one
So
Kelly
it's-
Gertz story. I
have
saw
a couple.
him present the awards at Flagpole in 2018, and he made a joke about Americana music, and he said, "Isn't that just music from the U.S.?" And nobody laughed because it was a room full of musicians, and it was just the most awkward thing I've ever seen in my whole life. I think this is while he was running for mayor, and it was just awful. I wanted to fade into nothingness.
Personally, I'd love to see
God.
it.
Well, my name's Isabel. The dumb one of the campaign, who plays Chad Solo, a level
The
8,
dumb one of the campaign.
also the dumb one of the campaign, a human barbarian. Thank you.
Excellent. Do we have any fun facts this week?
Oh my god, I forgot we do this.
Well, Chad should. Chad is desperately trying to find his fun fact because I said last week that I would have named my axes, and then I made a note on my phone and forgot.
Ain't that just like D90 to do work last minute entirely?
I'm doing my best.
We would never.
Anyone else got a fun fact?
Let's see, I talked about Elvis last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just have a fun fact.
Oh shoot, yeah.
The Baby Shark video has now outranked Despacito's record as most viewed YouTube video.
Thank God. They did it. Those geniuses.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm
Well,
gonna miss
they
this.
got the eyes of all the children of the world.
I mean, the pandemic definitely probably helped. On a related note, the mental health of every parent around the world has now dropped to a collective low.
Not a fun fact.
It's not a fun fact, but it's directly correlated. I think the fun fact for the week, we don't have to do one this week, but the DM's fun fact for the week is Chad directly contributed to the success of Baby Shark on repeated viewings.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
The best possible timeline is slowly merging with the worst.
Well,
he would just like listen to it as he like took a bunch of Adderall in the bathtub, and that's why it's so popular.
Yeah,
he tries to learn how to read.
Yeah.
That little bit about the best and worst possible timeline is kind of apt because today is November 2nd, and that's all I can think about as we record this. That tomorrow either has a chance of introducing a good timeline or a not good timeline. Well, maybe not a good timeline, but a less worse timeline.
A bad timeline.
I'm just going to turn off my phone tomorrow and try to go to bed because nothing's going to be for sure tomorrow.
I just can't wait until Joe Biden gets elected and then I can go back to brunch. That's just what I'm looking forward to. I'm very excited for brunch again. I miss brunch.
Can't wait for Corona and racism to end with the election of Joe Biden.
We did it, guys. We beat systematic racism. It's time to go to brunch.
Oh God. No,
All right.
I keep thinking of, there was this tweet and like you know the video of Kamala waving with the binoculars?
Yes.
It was that, and it was just captioned like me taking like 5 sleeping pills on election night and bidding the timeline goodnight at 6 p.m. on November 3rd.
Me after 12 hours of manifesting and deciding I can do no more.
Literally.
I didn't vote, but I did manifest for days. That's a joke. I did vote.
No, we're about to like come to Will's house, like
Court has actually firmly believed in not voting, because they feel there is no need to.
Wait, I just realized this is gonna air like
after the election.
Yeah, that's the weird thing is that we're recording this in the before time, and because of the backlog we have, this could air 2 or 3 weeks from now when we have a much clearer idea of like who actually won. So it's very scary.
Oh God, it's like looking back on all those like, I don't know, everyone tweeting the day like election day last cycle where it's like LOL, can't wait for President Trump, like ironically, that it's like oh.
The origin of many poorly aged tweets account.
Yeah.
On
the bright side, I finally I figured out my fun fact / the name of Chad's 3 axes. They're they're named after the Powerpuff Girls.
Thank God.
That's so good. Oh, please tell us which is which.
Blossom and Buttercup.
Oh, baby. That's really good.
I decided that's like about the level of entertainment that Chad enjoys. Just the lowest common denominator.
Are they like correspondingly color coordinated?
Yes, they each have a handle that's like for each color.
That's really great.
So starting this episode, I'm gonna yell Bubbles or like Buttercup for which one I throw.
That's so good. Is it problematic if I do a Mojo Jojo impression? Because I feel like that was never a good thing to begin with.
I don't know what that is.
Oh.
I feel like Mojo Jojo is probably some kind of offensive caricature just veiled behind, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, him and like the Newt Gunray character from like the prequel Star Wars movies are just like horrific. Like, I think it's supposed to be like a Japanese accent that someone just decided, I'm gonna make this racist.
Who knows?
It's a shame though. Mojo Jojo was great. It is I, Mojo Jojo. What?
There it is.
There it is. I'm
Do
sorry.
they have any anything they want to say to their future self who may or may not be listening to this episode in 2 or 3 weeks?
God. Good luck, Charlie.
Good luck, Charlie. Hey, people of Athens, you did it, or you tried, and the system was rigged against you from the start. But either way, I'm proud of you.
Oh my god! Real quick before we dive into things, I'm reading the Mojo Jojo page on the Powerpuff Girls wiki. Apparently, he was originally the professor's lab assistant, and then when the Powerpuff Girls got created, the chemical X that created them also mutated him in current form.
That's really good. I mean, that's better.
brutal.
That's better writing than I could do. So I'm happy to embrace that.
Better than writing than the Joker.
What, you think that's funny? Yes, I think Mojo Jojo's funny, and I'm tired of pretending he's not.
I just think Mojo Jojo was a tragedy.
Mojo Jojo is a tragedy. All right, so we're 11 minutes into this recording. So I feel like it's a pretty good place to start. This episode's gonna be a beach episode. For some character development. For those of you who haven't listened to the series, that's kind of wild because we're six monsters down of the 7 total into this campaign, if you're looking at it like that. So where we left off, the party of y'all, who we haven't decided a name yet, but the 3 of you and Old Dan were in the underbelly of Sanford Stadium, following beating up on some skeleton bulldogs, and that's where you were. You all notice the ground above you, so the floor of Sanford Stadium, I guess the turf starts to give way, as you notice the tremors following what you imagine to be the defeat of the dogs start getting more and more violent. Everyone make a dex roll to see if you get out of the way.
Okay. Is this like a saving throw or?
Yes.
Okay.
I roll an 8.
Oh, that doesn't bode well.
Court's gonna die for a 3rd time.
Ooh. Wow, good thing I have +6 on my dex saving roll.
Mm-hmm.
That's an 18.
Okay.
That is 25.
All right. So Court, you're gonna take 4 points of damage from some falling debris that catches you along your shoulder as you try to dodge out of the way. Everyone else, you make it just fine.
Wait, is Old Dan okay?
Old Dan's just fine. Old Dan's just been chilling on your shoulder in dog form.
Good.
He looks like he's trying to communicate with you, like telepathically again, but I think he's getting used to his meat suit, and he's not quite there yet. But he's trying.
Todd just understands him instinctively.
I think that's a good call.
They have similar levels of intelligence. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
smarter than Chad. Let's not be rude.
As long as they're in physical contact, there's some sort of like knowledge diffusion gradient that like they can tell what each other are thinking, like osmosis.
Aww, so cute.
It's strange, but it's sweet in a weird, endearing way. So you notice, the first thing you notice when all the dust clears is just the light of Athens above you, and the sun is streaming in. And you notice Barry Lesnick above you, floating down to the ground below you. And he goes, "Hey everyone, I heard things were kind of going crazy. Everybody all right?"
Is this the real Barry Lesnick or his projection?
Who's
He's
to say?
Floating, so I'm gonna
You wanna check out?
It's his projection.
Wait, what?
Well, do you want to make some sort of like investigation check or arcana check or something?
I'll make
Can
an
I just throw a
investigation
rock
check.
and see if it goes through?
Yeah, you throw. You want to throw a rock? You can throw a rock.
Okay, I throw the rock.
All right. Make an attack roll.
Okay.
I'm not here.
I critically failed.
Okay. you pick up to throw the rock, and it I think it just
You
goes
get Court,
straight
who
up
takes
and
another 5 damage.
it bonks you on your own head, and you take 1 point of damage. And Barry goes, "Oh, oh, are you okay? You good?"
And then I'm going to make a really sweet Sugar Cubes reference for any listeners at home. And I said, ouch, that really hurts. And yeah, that's what I say.
I'm going to make an Arcana check. That's a 16.
Okay, on a 16,
That's
on a 16, you're going to tell that this appears to be the real Barry Lesnick. The corporeal form.
hit him then.
I think he would have just been kind of annoyed. But Barry Lesnick sort of dusts off the sleeves of his suit as he enters the silty and dusty basement of Sanford Stadium, and he says, "Well, it looks like you guys took care of the other dogs down here, and I'm glad to see old Dan's doing all right. How you doing, buddy?" And old Dan, I think, doesn't respond because he's too attached to Chad to sort of want to return. And
How do I translate?
Can you still talk?
No.
no, he's not communicating right now. I think he's trying to, but he's still getting used to his body.
Chad's going to translate because he knows everything he's thinking, and he's going to say, "He's doing much better now that he's with me, Barry."
Well, as much as that disappoints me, it looks like that's true. Old Dan, why don't you stay with Chad for a while?
Yes.
So I think the dog fist pumps the best he can, and Barry says, "All right, well, it looks like you all have been roughed up a little bit. Why don't I teleport us all back to our respective homes, and we take a night, and won't y'all come see me the following morning? I think we've got some more things we need to discuss."
Okay.
And
Are
he says,
we going to rest for some sort of time?
he says, "Yeah, it's time for you to rest for a long time."
How ominously threatening us.
Yeah, no, it's not. Certainly not a threat. He snaps his fingers, and the four of you are whisked away. Chad, Court, and old Dan to your prior residence. Gwen, you are whisked off to Fern's place where you hang out with Flora, and you all can take a long rest if you so choose to.
I like to imagine Chad filling old Dan's bowl with natty light.
Oh no.
Chad actually is responsible now that he actually feels love for something
He's
else.
learning to take care
So it's
for
like creature comforts instead of just like crappy natty light.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Something better than a natty, please.
He feeds him the champagne afterwards.
Oh, a high life. You know what? Old Dan graciously accepts the high life, and he gets to drinking. And you don't hear much mentally, but you hear like a sense of him going, mmm. So I think he likes it.
Bees sugar.
Mmm, this is good. Bees sugar.
You're welcome, little buddy.
So you all rest that night, and the next morning you wake up, and are you all gonna make your way to Barry's house?
Yeah. I suppose so.
That's a tentative, reluctant yeah.
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 I don't like Barry.
Okay. You feel this sort of pull in your head that senses your hesitation, but as soon as you accept that you will go see Barry, you are whisked away to the front step of Barry's house. So you're back outside that gate. So Court and Gwen, you're there. Chad, what are you doing?
We're in front of the gate.
Yeah, well, you didn't say for sure that you wanted to.
Oh yeah, I'm going.
Okay, you're whisked away like 2 seconds later. So Chad pops into existence next to the three of you. You're faced with the same gate illusion again, and what are you gonna do?
Well, I guess this time we know it at least leads to his office. So, like, we go. right? Does anyone object?
I don't object. Chad's suspicious, but what else can you do?
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the flow.
You just walk on in, I guess.
All right.
It's your boys.
You creak open the iron gate, and from behind the iron gate, you can see Barry's office. The three of you enter, and Barry swivels around in a chair and says, "Welcome back, you three. I thought I might see you here. If you wouldn't mind, I've got a couple of items of business to run over with you all. Please take a seat."
Okay.
Chad chooses to sit on the floor so that old Dan can crawl in his lap.
"Oh, I see you brought old Dan back. How you holding up, buddy?" And old Dan has a little bit of sentience back, and he goes, "I'm doing all right. I'm very happy to be with Chad." And he goes,
Aw.
Now you can talk again.
Hey, buddy.
"Sorry, what'd you say, Will?"
I'm excited all Dan can talk again.
We're all.
Yeah, I thought you meant him adjusting to his new body, like his new body isn't capable of speech.
No, he attuned to his body overnight, and he can use it. He had a long rest.
Okay, that's good.
Old
has-
Dan,
he has
it's
some-
so
some
good to hear
highlights.
your voice again.
I'm very happy to hear yours, Chad. I could hear it all along, but now I can respond.
Did he have to attune to his ears too?
Yeah, because he didn't have ears before. So Barry smiles and opens up 3 folders, which he passes to you, and he opens one himself, and he said, "I've taken the liberty of typing up some minutes for this meeting. If you'll take note of the first section of minutes, I'm aware you haven't caught up with Fern recently, but it appears that we've made it almost to the end of our journey here. We are facing the last villain. We're not sure where it is. And would you mind someone cracking out the map, seeing where it is?"
How's this? I know there's a finite.
Sorry?
The final boss.
Yeah. Well, he says, well, in following with the texts that I've seen, it appears that there's a monster for every color of the rainbow. You've made it through red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, and blue and indigo. So finally, it looks like you're facing Violet. Have you seen a violet dot on your map yet?
Is Barry a gamer?
Is Barry a what?
A gamer?
I think we just went in 2 very different directions.
No, I don't think he's a gamer. No.
I was just thinking about it in context of him knowing the concept.
He says, well, I've played Tetris a few times in my day.
Oh, yeah, the big boss of Tetris.
Wait.
Blocks.
Okay. So do we have a violet dot on?
Do you have a what?
Do we have the dot on the map?
Okay, so Gwen, or whoever, I think Gwen had the map. Gwen takes out the map, and Barry flips it over a few times, and he shows you. He says, "It looks like a violet dot hasn't appeared yet. Is this typical for your monster defeating?"
No. Typically, if another dot doesn't appear, it means you failed to finish up defeating the previous one.
Well, that's strange. However, it appears that all of the dots, they're no longer dots and they're X's. Is that correct?
Was that correct? Did
Yeah.
that happen previously?
Yeah.
No.
Every time you defeated a monster, the previous dot became an X, and the next one
I
appeared.
realized that.
I might have mentioned it forever ago, and I didn't mention it each time since, but that was the mechanic.
Okay.
So Barry says, "Well, I think, first order of business, we need to take advantage of this opportunity. I've taken the liberty of finding a few artifacts from across the world and transporting them into town. It looks like these artifacts belong to previous adventurers like yourself, and they should help you defeat this last monster, whoever it is. I've used UGA's resources and a little bit of our financial leaning in order to transport them here. However, it appears these 3 items..." Sorry? What'd you say?
It's refreshing that you're funding something other than sports.
Well, after our incident at Sanford Stadium, I'm not sure we're having football here anytime soon. And he says, speaking of the incident at Sanford Stadium, I have taken it upon myself, along with the Board of Regents, to cancel school for the rest of the semester.
Additionally, a lot of liberties.
And well, we weighed and we found that sorry, that was a little Freudian slip, some might say. Not their value, but their health is far too much at risk, and we are unable to continue at the semester, and we will not be refunding any students.
I want her so bad.
Sorry, what?
Never. I said the lack of refund. Are we not going to focus on that a little bit?
Well, it's just pretty typical. There's a long arbitration process, and it's like a liability to track students down and issue the refund.
Refund the kids, coward.
Stuff that you kids might not understand.
I certainly do not. I am an adult, but okay. Go on.
And he says, according to my records, it looks like you're not even enrolled in the university. He says, I'd like to get back to the matter at hand. It appears that the 3 artifacts I've had shipped into town have gone missing. And we've tracked down their location to an approximate area, and I think I'm going to need the 3 of you to go in and retrieve it on behalf of the university. You're welcome to keep what you find in order to beat the final monster, whatever it may be.
So are we stealing on behalf of the university?
No. Like any good artifact from a homeland, we have extradited it and paid for it. So legally it is ours. Morally, make whatever qualms you like. They're all in Athens somewhere. We just don't know where they are.
I want to steal.
Court's a little steely lad. Old Dan suddenly became Steely Dan.
Wow.
Now we're talking. Court's gonna do the dirty work.
The dirty deed. Dirty deeds. Done dirt cheap. Sorry, that's gonna get us.
The Steely Dan song, Dirty Work.
Yes. Oh, you're right. I think all these references are gonna get us in trouble. I think, okay, so the conversation continues about the artifacts, and Barry notes Gwen and Gwen's spear, Athena's Wrath, and he says, young lady, would you mind putting your spear on the table? I will not extradite this artifact or pay for it. I promise you that.
Okay. She's gonna put the spear on the table.
And he asks you, where did you find this spear?
We found it in a room in City Hall.
Well, that's...
Is that where we found it?
Yes, you did. You found it behind a painting in City Hall. And
okay.
Barry remarks, well, isn't that wonderful to know some of these artifacts were so close to us without even having to track them down. How interesting. However, it appears that there are 3 of you, and there are 3 of these artifacts. So if you would be so kind as to track them down, I will give you all their respective locations. Court, I found one that we've tracked down to a previously secret facility that exists under the chemistry building, and we figured with your knowledge of the area and with your expertise, you would be the best to track it down for us. Gwen, we have tracked one down to the area around Redneck Beach, outside of town towards Macon Highway. I'm sure as a former student you're well familiar with it.
Yeah.
And Chad, we have tracked, believe it or not, this final artifact down to Atomic Vintage. It appears that someone found this item and thought it was valuable enough to thrift, so they sold it to the store. We're going to need you to track that down and find it. Can you handle that, buddy?
I think I can.
Excellent. I knew you could. All right. And with that, I think I'm pretty much done here. Would you like me to teleport you straight to where you're going?
Sure. Yes, please. I can't read the storefront.
Okay. Barry says, "All right. 3, 2, 1, clap, clap, clap." And on the third clap.
Does that happen every time he transports us?
No, just this one time. It was kind of weird. On the third clap, you are all transported to different areas around town, to your respective areas, and in your hand you find a sheet with a long detailed list and a couple of images of the item you're seeking out. Court, you are seeking out a Tesla coil. It appears that this Tesla coil was weaponized and is stored in a core in the back of what looks like a harness or a wearable backpack. Gwen, you are seeking down a silver shield. The silver shield is ornately inscribed, and it looks to have a head on the shield that you can't make out from this picture. And Chad, you are seeking out a poncho. It is...
Yeah.
This poncho is made of some sort of animal fur. It's brown in color, and its last known location was Atomic Vintage.
Pour one out.
You hear a voice in your head. Barry says, "I've given you all tasks in accordance to your specialty and knowledge, so I wish you all luck." Chad, you don't take offense because you don't really understand. Yeah, Court breaks into a lab. Gwen goes on an archaeological dig, and Chad goes thrifting.
To be fair, Chad doesn't usually thrift.
That's true.
And Chad doesn't know how to thrift. You're right.
It's a new challenge for him.
All right, so I think we're gonna start with Chad.
All right, pour one out for Atomic. By the way,
It's the best possible timeline.
Best possible timeline. You walk in. You know who you walk in with? You walk in with old Dan, and you walk in with your old friend Brad. And the three of you have the next little bit to explore Atomic. And
Boys Day.
The three boys out on the town. You all walk in, Euro in hand. And where do you begin?
All right. Just gonna walk right to the clothing and kind of sift through looking for this poncho.
All right, excellent. Make a perception check for me.
Okay. It's an 8.
Okay, on an 8, you don't really notice anything in these racks of clothing. Do you have any other ideas of where to check around the store?
I'm going to ask an employee.
All right.
If it's a poncho made of fur, because they'll probably be nice to me regardless of how dumb I am.
Okay. You wander the aisles for a couple of minutes, and you make your way back around some eccentric items, and you hear a voice from the front who notices you as you turn the corner. Hey, Chad, isn't it?
Yeah, what's up?
And you turn the corner, and there's a woman behind the desk who looks somewhat familiar. I think you could gather you had a class together, and she says, "Hey, we had calc together, right?"
Oh my gosh! Yeah, you always pass, and I always fail.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. You don't remember who I am, do you?
Yeah, I do. You'd always drop your pencil, and I would say, "Hey there, Butterfingers."
Well, you're right. You did say that, and that did kind of crush me a little bit. But do you remember my name?
Sorry. I thought it'd be funny.
Well, I understand how you thought it was funny. But I have feelings too, and my name is...
Butterfinger.
My name's Jessica, Chad. You called me Butterfingers for 2 semesters. We were in 2 math classes together, and you called me Butterfingers the whole time. This was last week. All right. Can I?
This is my dog, old Dan.
Oh, hey, puppy. And Brad says, saw, dude, Jessica, right? We had that pottery class together. She says, yeah, nice to see you again, Brad. I didn't know y'all came in together.
Did they ever do the ghost scene?
Did they ever do what?
The ghost scene?
Oh my god. Stop it. Stop right now.
No. No. Oh, no. Go ahead and make a perception check for me, Chad.
Okay. Poor Jessica. Now I feel bad.
Jeez,
That's
not
6.
perception.
I know. I don't know what's wrong with this dice, but 6.
Okay. On a
Really
6,
annoying.
you look at her and you say, hey, you're Jessica. And she says, yeah, Chad, I am. And Brad says, I really like that brown top you got on there. What is that? Is that real goat fur? And she said, yeah, somebody brought it in the other day. I've kind of gotten really attached to it.
Chad's going to say. No, Chad's not going to say that. Chad is going to say, well, how much do you want for it?
Chad, there is no amount of money you could give me that I would want.
Really? Because my dad is loaded.
I don't care about your dad or your money. I work at Atomic.
But I really want that top.
Is she a Marxist?
She is, as we all know, anyone who works at Atomic is a Marxist.
And Chad's going to say, but I want that top really bad. I love fur.
And she says, you know what, Chad? You know, I will give you this. I will give you this poncho off of my back, but you have to do something for me. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I want to see how long it takes you to get there.
Oh, God. I need direct instructions, but, like, okay. But if it has to do with reading, I just straight up can't help you there, babe. I'm sorry.
No, don't like that you called me babe. Also, not reading.
Okay.
You want to try that
Sorry
one again?
for calling you babe. I thought it'd be better than Butterfingers.
You know, it was a step in the right direction, but I'm not your babe, so figure that one out here, bud. Come on.
Old Dan is my babe.
Oh my god.
You know what? Sure. He sure is, isn't he? You've noticed her expression towards you is only further souring.
Okay, I'm sorry, Jessica.
Hey, what was that? One more time?
I'm sorry, Jessica.
You know, that's so great to hear. I really appreciate that. Was that a heartfelt apology? Make a persuasion roll.
Okay.
Oh my word, never mind.
That was a 19.
Yeah, she rolled a 20. She does not believe that apology for 1 second.
Wait, actually, no, I forgot. I guess if it's a nat 20, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah, no. There could have been a universe where you persuaded her, but she did roll a 20.
Okay.
She says, I don't really believe that apology. And you know what? I will give you this sweatshirt or this poncho or whatever it is. If you apologize to me and you compliment me and I deem them to be genuine, I will give you this poncho. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
If you had put it in writing, it wouldn't have. But thank you for explaining it to me.
Of course. So, do you want to begin with the apology? Do you want to apologize in any sort of way, shape, or form?
I will apologize. And I will say this, Jessica. Recently, I have learned the power of love. I adopted this dog here. And I was talking to Brad. Ooh, this is Brad, by the way.
No, we already met, and Brad goes, yeah, we had a whole thing about how we were in pottery together. You now have disadvantage on this apology.
No, Chad just is like, you know, Brad. I'm saying this because Brad. I know you know Brad, but I don't know if you know that Brad is like my best bud, like my favorite person in the world. And he told me recently, Chad, you've really, I don't know if I can say this, you've really been kind of a butthead. And I realized, I went to hell, and I realized that Brad, right, I kind of have been a butthead. And so now that old Dan and Brad have taught me the power of love, I realized how little of my life I spent realizing what mattered. And what mattered is you. And anybody else, no, and anybody else that I came into contact with who I didn't even like be nice to because I was so much revolved around being the butthead and drinking. And so I am sorry, Jessica. I'm sorry that I didn't treat you properly. I'm sorry that I didn't learn your name. Although I will say, to be fair, it is really hard for me to learn names with the whole illiterate thing. But still, I'm sorry for not learning your name. I'm sorry for making fun of you dropping things. I drop things all the time when I'm drunk, and that's like 22 hours of the day. And
you know, this is a really long-winded apology. Have you said I'm sorry in anywhere in here?
I'm building up to it, Jessica.
Okay.
I'm thinking of a speech, and I just wanted to say that I am sorry for everything that I did and for all the ways that I hurt you. But look at my dog. He believes in my capacity to be a better person. And I hope that you will accept this apology and believe in me like old Dan and Brad do. Thank you, Jessica, for your time and your consideration.
All right.
So in love.
In the Hunger Games.
Make a persuasion roll for me, please.
Okay. Did you say I had disadvantage?
No, you took away your disadvantage. Even though it was long-winded, you did.
Thank you. I thought that being long-winded would be nice.
You know, sometimes brevity is nice.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But what's that roll looking like?
I said 14.
Oh, 14. Didn't catch that. Jessica sort of uncrosses her arms, places her hands on the desk, and nods her head. She says, I can tell you really meant that, Chad. You know what? I really do appreciate it. You know, I could have been a little bit hard on you, but it was hard, you know? I felt like I was giving you 100% and trying to help you through that class, and I didn't feel like it was reciprocated. And now...
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be honest with you. I knew I was gonna fail that class as soon as I walked in, and I just felt like any attempts to try were kind of fruitless, you know? But thank you for trying.
Chad, you now feel in your heart of hearts that if you gave a compliment that she deemed to be genuine, she might give you the poncho.
Okay. And you know, Jessica, I really appreciate that you have this willingness and this capacity to be so helpful. It's one of my favorite things about you is your generosity. I think you're wonderful, Jessica.
Go ahead and make the roll on that.
Okay, is this also persuasion?
Yes.
A 12.
Okay. And on that, she cracks a smile and she says, you know what, I really appreciate that. I never wanted to feel like you were a lost case, and I'm glad to see that you really have grown. And I'm glad that Brad and old Dan have helped you. And she says, you know what? Take this. And she lifts the poncho over her head and hands it to you across the counter. And she says, I'm not even going to charge you for it. I mean, I was wearing it. That would seem kind of wrong. And
Thank you, Jessica. Do you want to pet my dog in return?
Yeah, I'd love to. And she comes around the corner and she pets the dog. Chad, you have acquired the tunic of Heracles. And I'm not going to tell you what that does for now. I don't think you're going to put it on. You're going to fold it over your arm. And the three of you walk out the front door, and Jessica waves behind you, and she says, y'all have a good day now.
You too, Jessica. See you when I have to retake a class.
And as you're telling her this, you're walking backwards to the door. The door closes, and you're looking in through the front door, and your vision is obscured by a violet mist, and you don't remember anything after that.
Ooh.
Up next, we're gonna go to Gwen. Gwen, you and Fern have been assigned to finding the shield at Redneck Beach. You've got the whole duration of the creek in front of you, from like the sort of falls in the east down the west. Sort of, you've narrowed it down to about a 50-yard stretch. You've been handed a metal detector that you're going to try to use to find this object buried somewhere in the dirt. And I'm going to sort of make the same contested D20 rolls to sort of guide you in the right direction. But you and Fern are both out here. Fern will try her best to help you however she can.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, I guess am I just rolling like a?
Yeah, just roll a D20. No sort of modifiers or anything.
That's an 11.
All right. On an 11, you point your metal detector over the waterfall down a couple feet, down to the shoreline below. And the two of you start walking that way, and Fern says, I mean, you're in the middle of a conversation with Fern, and Fern says, well, I just feel like I haven't seen you or the rest of the guys in the last couple of days. I've heard you've been working with Barry?
Begrudgingly. Yeah, we really haven't had much of a choice. He kind of keeps like summoning us directly to his office, and wherever we need to go.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, I mean, we had to fight some dogs, which I felt kind of bad about.
Mm-hmm.
Until they tried to kill us, and I felt pretty fine.
Yeah, well, you know what's strange? In all the books that I've read about sort of how this has gone over the last several centuries, you are one of the first people to document remorse. No one has felt remorse in like killing these monsters or doing any of this stuff along the way. I think that's pretty remarkable, and I think that kind of speaks to your character. And the two of you... Sorry, go ahead.
I'm like other girl.
What'd you say?
I said, you know, Fern, I'm not like other girls.
and Fern kind of chuckles along with you, and the two of you hop down the ridge, and you're now walking along the side of the creek. Make another D20 roll.
That's a 2.
Okay. The beeping gets fainter, but you don't notice as the two of you continue walking down the creek bed. And you're now sort of waiting together. And she says, well, I can't shake this feeling about Barry. I mean, it's probably fine. You remember the first night that, like, I guess the night we met, when you were at the frat house?
Uh-huh.
I remember seeing on the TV, Barry was talking about sort of next semester and tuition hikes and just sort of changes to the schedule. Do you get the feeling this guy is just obsessed with money?
most definitely.
Yeah,
Like, I would have told you that, even without, like, knowing anything about the man.
yeah, I just can't help but like shake this feeling that like I don't know, where does he fit in all this? Like, how are you trying to make money off students right now? That kind of seems a little bit ridiculous. Um, and she goes, and he just started using magic. Like, do you think he's like me? Like he learned it? Has he mentioned any books he read or anything?
Um, oh crap, I have a horrible memory.
You can make an insight check.
Okay. 3.
On an insight check, you remember him mentioning very vaguely reading books, but you have no idea what context it was in.
Okay. So he either read a book that granted him magical powers, or he's been through the public school system.
Oh, that's one would hope he'd been through it, considering he's leading one now. But you know, Betsy DeVos is a thing.
I was about to say Betsy DeVos.
Well, that's just how in sync our minds are. Well, I mean, he seems like he's been nothing but help so far, and he's kind of I mean, he assigned you here. He's guiding you towards more items, which seems useful.
Oh, Fern, please believe me. When he turns out to be the big bad next episode.
Next episode?
I will happily turn to you and say, babe, you knew it the entire time.
And she kind of blushes and she's like, well, I think it's just some thinly veiled writing, but like, that was sweet of you to call me that.
Oh, we love breaking the third wall.
We're doing it repeatedly here. Go ahead and make another check for me.
11. This is a really inefficient metal detector.
But oddly enough, it does the trick. Compared to my roll.
Okay.
You notice the beeping is picking up as you sweep more towards the waterfall. And Fern points ahead and she says, you've been here, right? To Redneck Beach before?
Yeah, plenty of times.
Have you ever noticed that? And she points her finger towards, in the center of the waterfall, there's a small opening, and it appears to be smooth obsidian, and it descends down a set of stairs.
Oh yeah, that.
So that cave's like always been here, because I swear I was here like 3 weeks ago, and it wasn't there.
Yeah, no, I've never seen that before in my life. Sorry, I was just rolling with it.
No, pretty amazing. It never got flooded. Do you want to point the metal detector towards that?
Sure.
All right.
I point the metal detector into the obsidian void.
And it goes haywire. It is picking up incredibly strong readings, as if there's like a deposit of iron underneath it that sort of matches the magnetic North Pole.
Sick.
Fern says, well, that's weird. Think we should check that out?
Probably.
She raises one hand, and there's a ball of light that appears in her hand. And you can see pretty naturally well in the dark as it is. And the two of you descend down the steps. You come to a large, smooth door, and it's covered in...
Gwen goes first.
Yeah, Gwen goes first, down the stairs. Okay. You first come to a large door. And the first thing you notice is the door is set in this small cave. The small cave is not decorated in any way, but this door is covered in graffiti.
Cool. Is there a handle?
There's no handle on the door.
What does the graffiti say?
The graffiti says things like, be kind, all sort of like hippie slogans, like share love, like...
Is there anything written in some ancient language of some sort that would seem out of place?
Nothing written in any sort of ancient language, although you do see a word in Spanish that you know means, like, kindness.
Oh, okay. Wouldn't there be a password here?
And Fern says, is this just, like, hippie stuff? Like, written all along the door?
Oh, wait. Okay. I know you weren't here for it, but I did meet a sentient door once. So,
A sentient
please-
door?
yes. I'll tell you more about it later. But I'm telling you this so you can bear that in mind with what I'm about to do. so, so Gwen's like gonna like put her hand on the door and be like, "Hey."
And Dorothy responds to you and she says, "Hello, friend.
I've missed you so much, Dorothy. How you doing?
I've missed you too. I don't know how I got here, but it's good to hear a friendly voice."
Can you just try, like, Dorothy? I hope this isn't like an offensive question to ask.
Oh, of course.
Are you one particular door, or are you like a spirit of a door that can like be in any given door at any given point in time? Maybe have you
Well,
thought of that?
Here's the difficulty for me. I can't perceive very well, and all the rooms I've ever been in have been very dark. In my mind, nothing has changed, and you just came back. I don't know where I am located geographically, but it's great to see you.
Yeah, you too. Well, so I mean, last time you kind of knew it was like ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that's gonna want to eat our bones?
Well, nothing bones munching this time, but I did see a figure proceed ahead of you. He didn't speak to me. In fact, he was quite rude to me, and
I'm sorry you had to deal with that. You deserve so much better.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I don't know how long ago this was. Um, but be careful ahead, okay?
Was he armed?
Um, no. I don't even know he was a he, really. It was a figure in a robe. The robe was violet. Does that help?
Oh God, it's Barry. Okay. Yeah, no, I appreciate all your help. This is actually very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
The only way you could be more helpful is if you swing open.
Oh,
and let us-
of course. Post haste, and the door swings open slowly, revealing more obsidian steps cut into the rock. However, you notice there is a drastic fall to either side into a pit that you can't see the bottom of, even with your night vision. At the bottom of the steps lies a single dais. Fortunately, you don't see anyone down there around it, and make a perception check for what's on the dais.
Okay. On the dice. Oh my God, that's a critical failure.
Okay, you don't see anything on the dais.
Yeah, he's blind.
So how are you going to proceed?
Gwen's gonna turn to Fern and be like, I think I was blinded momentarily. Can you, like, help me down the stairs? This is all a ploy to hold hands.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 second. And she grabs your hand, and the stairs start out 2 by 2. So you walk down together side by side, and it narrows as it goes further down. And Fern says, "All right, Gwen, it's kind of getting more narrow. I think we're going to be able to make it all the way down there, just the two of us, but I'm going to have to walk in front of you here, okay?"
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
The two of you proceed all the way down to the dais, and even though you're very much somewhat blinded, you can make out this silver shield very ornately inscribed sitting on the dais, and there's a figure's head on the shield, and it looks to be writhing in snakes, almost actively.
Oh God. Okay.
And Fern says, I may not be the classics major here, but I think I can spot Medusa when I see her."
Yeah, you should maybe stop trying to perceive Medusa.
Oh, that's a great point, and she looks away. Gwen, what are you gonna do?
Okay. Well, and so other than the shield on the dais, like there's nothing really around us, or like
There's
are we
nothing.
at the bottom of the
You're not
cavern?
you're not on a
Or the-
floor. The dais is raised sort of to be a platform.
Uh-huh.
All you can see is there's like a long spindly obsidian shard that pokes out of some darkness below you that you can't make out.
Okay, so like, so I guess where we are in relation to it is there like a walkway leading up this dais, and on either side of the walkway it like still drops off into an abyss, or
No, you're currently standing on a small stone table that surrounds like the raised dais, on top of which has the shield. So you're right next to the shield.
okay. I guess, Fern, do you have any sort of like magical like protection kind?
Okay, you turn to Fern, and she's nowhere to be found. Your echo rings through the cavern, and from what you can see, she's not anywhere on the steps, of which there were about 100 that led back to the top. In addition, you didn't hear anything that sounded like falling or yelling. She's just gone.
There's not a stone Fern anywhere, is there?
No, there's not a statue Fern anywhere.
Okay, that's good. By the way, this is me role playing.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. While you are sort of writhing and looking around, you come into contact with the eyes of the Medusa. And you feel this creeping cold enter your brain, and nothing happens. You are immune to be turned into stone because you look directly into the eyes of the basilisk and you made it out.
Sick!
I don't think you realized exactly why it is, but you just sense this presence in your brain. What are you going to do with this shield?
So while I'm... So there's a presence in my brain? Like...
Yeah,
can I, like, reach my mind out and kind of probe at it?
Okay. You reach out mentally and you probe this presence, and you find it to be... You don't know who it is, but there's someone in this shield, and she's tormented, and she's in pain, and she's angry.
Hey, lady! What'd you do with my girlfriend?
There's no response, and you get the feeling that the woman in the shield is simply pleading that she hasn't done anything wrong. She has simply been wronged.
I mean, like,
You know what? Gwen, why don't you make a history check?
Okay. Let's see here. That's a 19, baby.
All right. That is an excellent roll. In the back of your mind, you remember one of your history lectures about a poet named Ovid, whose Metamorphoses was told the story of Medusa. She was a woman who was violated by men of Athens, and Athena punished her for this violation, this crime, by turning her into a monstrous stony-glazed creature. Those who looked her in the eyes turned to stone. However, in modern interpretations, it's been seen that Medusa is more of a victim, and her quest for vengeance is one of sort of justice and isn't in any way sort of vindictive. You can sense that the person in this shield had no ill will towards you or Gwen, or not towards you or Fern, and in fact cries out for justice for your lost friend.
Okay. Well, in that case, Gwen's gonna soften her approach a bit. She feels bad. And, like, she's not really quite sure how to communicate, so she's just gonna, like... Did you say that she was actively writing with snakes?
Yes. but not like life-size snakes, like small silver snakes.
Oh, okay. So like, they're not like scaly.
No.
I guess it doesn't matter. Like, they can still bite me.
They don't seem to like sort of look at the world. They just they're just moving like sort of waves.
Okay. So like, can I go pick up the shield without anything too terrible happening?
Yeah, absolutely. So you pick up the shield, and as you strap it onto your arm, you feel like this sense of righteous anger come up over you. And
Nothing changed.
nothing has changed. You see in your vision a hooded purple figure at the top of the steps. What do you do?
I mark it as my core.
Oh, shoot.
This is war.
So,
Rage.
so you're going to go charging up after it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. You charge up the stairs, and
Well, first she's gonna shout, "You!" and then she's gonna cut.
the figure makes no response and in fact stands still. As you reach the widening of the stairs and get close to the figure, you reach out a hand and you hear Dorothy yell, "Wait, Gwen!" And you're plunged into a purple fog.
Sick.
That takes us to Court.
Ew.
Court, when you come to, you're on the grounds back around the behind of the chemistry building, and you're looking down at your sort of briefing. You can see a small doorway that's hidden under like about a foot of dirt. What appears to be the ground you're standing under, and it looks like there's a trap door. How are you gonna move this dirt?
Let's see. I don't have a shovel or anything nearby, do I? That'd be too easy.
No, but maybe you have magic.
I'm looking at my spell list right now. I could set fire.
Okay. What are you gonna do?
Feels like not the move. I think. Also, for what it's worth, the person who plays Court has never been to the chemistry building ever, so.
Yeah, you're not actually like inside it. You're just around back behind it on the hill.
Right. Just kind of chilling on top of the trapdoor. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna cast. I'm gonna cast lightning bolt on the dirt to move it.
Okay.
Or evaporate it or whatever.
Yeah, you have no problem doing that. You cast lightning bolt on the earth, and you notice that there's like a glow emanating. However, there's still dirt on top of it. You sort of like tap your foot, and you're getting impatient. However,
I just did 27 damage to the dirt.
Oh shoot!
What?
But lightning is famously deactivated by grounding, so
Who could have guessed this?
you're sort of tapping your foot in frustration, and you feel a weight on your shoulder, and you feel a little bit of a tightening, and you look over in surprise, and it's Noctua. It's the owl.
Oh my god.
You feel a magical aura emanate from this owl, and you can tell it's the cantrip Mold Earth. And the earth from underneath you, right above the trapdoor, is excavated and pushed to the sides, packing it again, so it makes a small square above the trapdoor.
Thank you, Noctua.
It just sort of hoots back at you. You look down at this door, and you see there are five empty squares that look like tiles formerly sat in them. Around you, you find tiles with the letters. This is going to be an actual puzzle, so you find tiles with the letters E, L, A, and T around you.
Okay. Is it tail?
You put it in. You put it in the order TALE, and there's a final gap and no motion from below you.
Is it late?
You rearrange the letters, and there is no motion from below you. And the owl starts hooting at a bit of dirt that was packed into the side of the wall. Make a perception check.
Let's see. To do rolling perception. That's gonna be a 20.
All right. On a dirty 20, you spot a fifth tile that was packed into the dirt on the side, and it's the letter S.
Slate? It's stale?
You enter both of those, and nothing happens.
Hmm. Oh, Tesla. Duh. Tesla coil.
You enter Tesla, and the door under you slides to the side, and you're able to walk down a set of stairs.
Nice.
The stairs are metallic, and to your left and right, you see wiring running up the walls, up into what you perceive to be the ground above you, but now you've surmised this is a large sort of bunker. You walk down a white hallway, and you come into a single white illuminated dome that's about 50 feet in dimension. Sitting in the center of the room on the floor is a beaker with hastily written Sharpie on it that says, "To Divinity."
Ooh, that's odd. Can I roll perception to see what else is in the room?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a nice hot 6.
All right, on a 6, you don't perceive anything other than sort of echoing of your footsteps as you walk to the center of this dome.
Cool. Oh my god, drop my phone. I would like to pick up the beaker.
Mm-hmm.
Does anything happen?
Nothing happens when you pick it up.
I would like to gently waft the air on top of it towards my nose to get a smell.
All right, you waft the beaker into your nose, and it feels almost like the lights in the room start to dim just a little bit, almost like
That's not a good
someone
sign.
sort of tilted a dimmer switch just a little bit.
You know, I didn't perceive anyone near a dimmer switch earlier, so I put the beaker back down. It's on a table, right?
It's sitting on the floor in the center of the room.
I pour a little drop onto the floor.
You pour a little bit onto the floor, and the beaker doesn't seem to get any more empty.
Huh. That's a doozy. You know what? What the heck? I'll take a little sippy.
All right, you take a sip, and the lights in the dome drastically get darker, and you start to hear pitter of feet around you.
That's right.
However, you seem to like imagine this, and you don't notice anything different other than the small increase in darkness in the room.
Oh my goodness. I will take another sippy.
It gets darker, and the pitter of feet gets louder.
I would like to call out to the pair of feet. Who's there?
They stop for just a second, and then they continue.
If I just wait, will they come to me?
It doesn't seem like anything other than the constant little pitter of feet is continuing.
Is Noctua still out there? Should I ask for help from my
She
boy?
is chilling on your shoulder.
Oh, he's been here this whole time.
Yep.
I say, Noctua, what do you think of all of this?
You just get a hoot back.
Not very helpful, Noctua.
Another hoot.
Noctua, do you want to try this?
As you lift it up to a Noctua's beak, it gets a little bit frightened and flies off out the trapdoor.
Yeah, that makes sense. Can I break the glass? Can
Okay.
I break the beaker?
What are you gonna try to do to the beaker?
Can I just drop it first?
All right, you drop it and it bounces around and seemingly spills its contents on the floor. However, when you pick it back up, it's completely full and unbroken.
It's freaky. Is the liquid on the floor doing anything?
It seems like it got absorbed into the ground, which is strange because it's a white tiled floor.
I want to stick my hand in the beaker.
You stick your hand in the beaker, and it comes out almost like drenched in shadow, like completely black.
What color is the liquid? I never asked.
The color is the color of like water. It is completely transparent.
Interesting. So I took my hand out, and my hand's all blackened.
It's an interesting titration.
I don't know what that word means.
You know, like it's in chemistry where like if you shake something enough, like it becomes pink or whatever. I think that's right.
I don't know. Court's a chem student, but I'm not.
All right,
Does my hand feel any different?
Yes, your hand does feel different. In fact, it's raising the beaker to your mouth.
Oh, I don't like that. I attempt to stop it with my other hand.
All right, as you stop it with the other hand, you slosh some onto your other hand. Make a strength check to stop it.
Yeah, all right. Oh, baby, that's an 18.
Okay, on an 18, you are unable to stop it, and you find yourself drinking the rest of the beaker, and the lights get darker.
Baby.
Sorry?
I was saying glug glug.
Glug glug. The lights get darker until you hit the bottom of the beaker, in which the lights have hit their darkest point. The pitter of feet grow to a loud sort of pace and volume until you hear them leave you and go to three corners of the room 120 degrees apart from each other. A light, like a stage light, illuminates under all three spots. And in all three spots, step a child.
Oh,
the children begin to speak at once. Their voices sort of in monotony, but also in harmony. They say,
baby.
"Hail, hero, one of many who have come before you. You are deemed special in the eyes of the lady, for none of your progenitors have come this far. 500 years ago, paladins fell at the hands of a tree ogre. 1,000 years ago, monks were struck down by serpents underground. 1,500 years ago, barbarians were consumed by justice in a dimension of hell. 2,000 years ago, fighters struggled and lost against the skeletal hounds of hell. 2,500 years ago, the lady first appeared to a doomed bunch of bards, folk heroes who would spread the legend of their exploits, up until the final challenge proved too much for them and they retired in shame. Today you, Court, Gwen, and Chad are called to close the cycle and find what lies at the end of this challenge. We have seen your fate and the fate of the world. It cannot withstand another cycle not concluded. Go take this artifact and break the unbroken chain."
Court thinks to himself, well, technically, I too was stalled by a tree ogre, but I'll let them have this.
As you're thinking this, the children disappear from view and the lights come back up.
Nuts.
You hear the same pitter of feet that sort of quiets to silence. From a panel in the ground underneath you rises a large backpack.
Can I take a little look-see inside the backpack?
Mm-hmm. Inside
the
backpack is sort of made of metal with like a flap on the top, and it looks very firmly packed. And in the middle of it is a fuel cell that glows most all spectrums of light, with the exception of the color violet.
Is it by any chance a weaponized Tesla coil?
It does appear to be.
Who could predict? All right. I'm just gonna kind of hoist that thing up and head out of this little bunker.
All right. As you leave the bunker, you come to your senses and you find the sun is setting above you, and you notice you're looking down the hill over Sanford Stadium where there's a gaping hole now, and you feel a sort of sense of knowing that, and it's a knowledge that others might not have ever known over the course of their lifetime. You start down the hill, and before you make it all the way down the hill, you trip. You trip and you start rolling down this hill, and you make it all the way down in front of a bus, which is rounding the corner, and it doesn't see you. And right before the tires come to meet you, your vision goes purple.
Oh my god. Oh, you hate to see it.
All right.
Court got hit by a bus.
Court did not get hit by the bus. Court doesn't know much about where they are right now. All they know is they are sort of in a realm of purple.
No thoughts had purple.
No thoughts had purple. They're only roused when they come to a large office. The office sort of seems familiar to Court, but you look around you and you notice your friends. What are you going to do?
Hey guys, I just had the craziest day.
Gwen, Fern, and Chad are unresponsive.
Oh, Fern's here too. That's good. Maybe.
Question, is old Dan here? Because he should be safe from our troubles.
Yeah, no, Brad took old Dan and ran.
Thank goodness.
But
Do I still have the Tesla coil backpack?
it's a funny thing you should ask that, because you look up on the wall on your right and you find the Tesla coil backpack is now hanging in a commemorative case. Alongside it are Athena's Wrath, as well as the shield that you heard about and a tunic that you don't recognize. The rest of the party starts to rouse too. Gwen and Chad have now come to.
Oh, hey guys.
Is Fern awake?
Fern is awake.
Okay. Otherwise, she would have started trying to revive Fern.
Chad's gonna.
She's gonna. Oh,
no, you're good.
I was gonna say Gwen's probably gonna notice that being his wrath in a case and gonna be like, "He promised he wouldn't take my spear."
As soon as you shout this, you see the chair in front of you swivel, and it's none other than Barry Lesnick, clad in a purple robe. He grins a wide smile, widens his hands, and he says, "Have you figured it out yet?" Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, we're back.
Okay, that was the creepiest thing that's ever happened to me. How much did y'all hear?
I heard Anne yell, "You promised you wouldn't take my sphere," and then I was gone.
Oh yeah. Much. He promised he wouldn't take my spear.
Okay,
And
so,
even though Aegis is gone, Gwen is still filled with righteous fury.
okay, I heard all that, and then I started getting this little monologue, and it was really creepy, and I asked a question, and nobody responded, and I said, "Oh no."
And was just like, okay, that didn't warrant that much silence.
I'm sorry, my Discord lagged out. So, Gwen, you mentioned righteous anger, and as soon as you mention righteous anger, the chair in front of you turns around, and it's none other but Barry Lesnick, clad in a purple robe with violet eyes. He claps his hands together and he asks, "Have you figured it out yet?"
Barry, I have never trusted any form of institution, and you are head honcho. We expected you from the beginning, man.
Yeah, we always suspected you.
Interesting.
And literally called this early in the episode.
Yeah, interesting you would mention from the beginning, because I think it would take some sort of, I hesitate to say genius, but a supernatural mind that would put the three of you together. That would put the three of you together in this easy to manage place, after conquering everything that brought you here. Every sort of minion that I summoned, every little puzzle I created, and it took you this long to get here. So here we are. Is anyone else getting a little stuffy in here? It's a little bit hot.
Wait,
It is kind of
are he
hot.
calling us smart or himself smart?
He's calling himself smart. He's not very smart, so he doesn't know how to say it.
Okay.
It is pretty hot in here.
Yeah.
So take off all your physical dimensions, and he claps his hands together twice.
He likes to
I was
clap.
like starting to strip.
No, he does not
That
strip.
was like making it look good too.
He claps his hand twice, and on the third clap, the 5 of you are transported miles above Athens, Clark County, and you're all hovering in the air together. The rest of you bound. Barry is clearly not bound. He points to the county below him, and you can see scars of red and orange and yellow and green and blue and indigo all around the city at places you defeated monsters. And he
Hey, we
says,
did that.
well, yes, you did do that. However, it's become apparent to me that you didn't sort of take into account the sort of wanton violence you brought up upon our city and our county. And from here on out, it's going to be my city and my county. And he claps 3 times, and a violet scar appears in the middle of the city and grows. The scar runs around the border of the city along the loop, and the city blinks from existence. A large rainbow shimmering portal replaces it, and the end is upon Athens, and the circle is almost complete. And that is where we're going to end today's episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Whoa.
So I'm going to stop the recording in just a second here. Thanks for listening. Tune in next episode for the thrilling conclusion of D90.5.
Bye.
Bye.